Hi there. Okay, so I'm going to do like a full post on my thoughts on this idea of being wired to fail monetarily and in a business here in America. But I just want to do a video to preface it. So talk about folks who live in the occupational sector that just have a job and work for a corporation somewhere or a small business, and then we'll talk about folks who run startups or who have companies and those two different dynamics, and why I think the pervasive ideology here in America makes people wired to fail in money and how to save money and how to build money and how to create money, all that stuff. I don't mean to sound like Think and Grow Richie or even like Evan Pagany is a marketer who likes to talk about this sort of stuff. And there's been many books written about the psychology that people's like kind of have a framework about money, and that makes them fail with money. It goes very deep into that, and I think it can sound less hyperbolic and more detailed and more objective, and more true. So I'm not going to, that's not the path that I'm really trying to take here. But I'll just mention a couple things that I think is really important. First of all, as my company has started to the moment my company could like sustain itself, and I was able to make a considerable amount of money and get like good emergency money, and just be comfortable. I built a nice small business. The moment that started happening, and then as that continued, I actually started spending less money. Rather than going out and buying like more things and buying a new furniture set and buying a new bed and buying new lights and new wine glasses and wine holders and a knife set like folks do, I saved money and spent far less money, and I do now. I look at like some of my maybe friends, maybe acquaintances, just folks that I know out in the world, everywhere, and they spend far more money than me on a per week basis and also on a per month basis, just amazingly. We're talking about 3 to 5 days going out to eat. Folks like constantly kind of buying new house-like trinkets, like stuff to like a shelf for the dining room or something, and stuff that has value and has like a kind of a psychological value, and then also some other sort of value, but really in the long term doesn't. It isn't much of anything except for things that take up space and maybe look a little nice and give you the edge over your neighbors who maybe don't have that cool nice thing in their dining room. So I run into that all the time. And me, like having like built a small business and I'm doing well, and I got a lot of cool plans in the future. I operate a very specific way. I spend far less money than my friends who have less money than me, and that's just a fact, right? It's just I'm being objective and just being straight up, and so that's kind of crazy. So that's like one point. One of the things I think is kind of a little nuts is that I think it's ideology and I think it's thinking that makes a lot of people fail as far as money, both in saving money and being able to accumulate a lot of money. One of the things that I think is that I see so many folks look at people who are monetarily oriented in some sort of business dynamic as greedy, and it's so asinine. They think like you're greedy if you're focusing on trying to build money, get money, save money, get a foundation, get emergency money, be economically comfortable, all that stuff. They see you as, they like to say things like money isn't everything and money doesn't buy happiness, and those sort of things. And it's just such a very clear case of psychological conditioning and a pure lack of originality in that person to have the capacity to truly understand the dynamic of money here as we live in this dynamic of capitalism here in America, right? It's like to me, it just strikes me as a pure unawareness of how this all works. But yet, like a gigantic plethora of complaints about situations where a situation where that person cannot get along comfortably financially. In other words, people complain about the fact they don't have any money, but then call people who focus on money greedy, which is ridiculous. So there's that kind of American ideology that's drilled into folks because we have like all these interesting moral and ethically based ideals and ways we should think about stuff, which originated from what again, by the way? Someone who knew the world, someone who could just like predict and tell you exactly how you were supposed to think about things. I probably don't think so. And so folks think I need to be, happiness is where I need to go, right? And balance is where I need to go, and helping other people is where I need to go. This idea of just like 100% altruism. And the problem with 100% altruism is especially at the expense of focusing on the accumulation of resources for you to make your way throughout this world is that you don't end up as a person who can help people. You can't help people if you're broke, you know, and a larger scale, generally speaking. You can't help people if you haven't learned how to make yourself successful in some endeavor in life. You can't help folks. You're going to be regurgitating the same crappy advice to people that runs your brain, which isn't yours or original. You just got conditioned to believe it, and you feel some sort of comfort in continuing to think that and feel that way. You're not going to be able to help other folks that want to do really well and that want to, like, let's say, get some resources to build a good company that's going to help a lot of people, you know, or build a lot of resources to donate to some charities that are going to help a lot of people, or donate to some really interesting causes, like maybe donate some money to Aubrey de Grey and his quest to figure out how to you know, repair kind of the biology of aging within people. Those are good things to put money toward, you know, and I would you know, love to put $10 million toward that, and that's, you know, one of the things that I hope to do when I reach that sort of monetary level. And so I'm getting into sort of what I want to talk about in the post, but I just think that's crazy. For me, I get some folks who look at me and they go like, "You're so money oriented and so focused on money, like that's not what it's about." And my very objective, very smart response to that is, well, what is it about? Is it about struggling? Is it about living paycheck to paycheck? You know, is it about just barely being able to make your mortgage payment on the house you really shouldn't have done and you really can't afford and you're in debt for now, and having just enough money so that you can, like, do the things that are the things that get you out of that sort of hellhole of continuously going to your job that you hate every day. And those things that you do are like going out to Red Robin and eating like a burger with bread and fries, and then getting like a sundae as a dessert and eating all unhealthy, and then getting, like, you know, beer for your fridge or wine for your fridge, and then buying like a new couch maybe once in a while, but still being so tight that it constantly puts the strain on your prefrontal cortex of your brain because you have stress and it's deviating you from the course of attention on the things that matter, because that's what happens neurologically when you get stressed out. Is that better than being able to sit a little more comfortably because you worked really hard? You learned so much about yourself. You learned so much about the capitalistic dynamic here in America and how to win or play in this game, or you lose. You learned so much about how to, and as a result, you have much more of an ability to focus on things that matter. You have an understanding of what has gotten you to the point where you've been able to reach some of these successful monetary outcomes and get some sort of position of comfort as far as money goes. And if you're on the higher scale of the money thing and you really like making a lot of money, you have the capacity to invest money into your company rather than going to a venture capitalist to invest money. You have the capacity to invest money into other really cool causes and invest money into things that you think are really important, that are going to change the way that a large group of people do a certain kind of thing in a specific sector of whatever. Say you want to build some technology that's going to fix some kind of thing. Which is better there, you know? It's like, it's very obvious, and it becomes dubious, the idea that folks shooting for money are greedy people. And to me, it becomes extremely obvious that in this world, if you want to be able to help people, meaning instill in them good ideology, help their brains to, like, work better, help them to eat better, help them to think better and how to maneuver better navigationally in the world. If you want to be able to do that, you need to go build something from the ground up. You should probably make yourself financially comfortable and do well in the area of economics. And because the psychology that you're going to build up and the distinctions you're going to make, the critical identifications you'll inevitably land on, and all the rest of the evolution that'll happen that way will make you put you in far better of a position, information-wise and experience-wise, to then go help people. If you're that guy who thinks like, or that person who thinks like, it's not all about money, money doesn't buy happiness, and you're greedy if you're focusing on money, you can't help people. You can't help me. You're not going to be able to help anybody who really wants to go and be ambitious in life. And aside from all the stuff we're conditioned with, do the thing that at the core humans want to do, which is grow and be and engage in progress and learn and build things and be creative and be happy. The whole thing is just sort of backwards. So I'm going to write like a post about this and go deeper into it. Maybe I'll even put the video on the post. Who knows? But but people are wired to fail on money, and I just know it now. Like I've come to just get it, and I think folks should listen to me about money. You know, I mean, listen to somebody who thinks about it in a way that like allows you to go out and get some of it, and understand how to create it, and understand how to save it, and not how to spend it on dumb stuff, and then how to use it for good things moving forward. Right? This is we're not living on the island that Tom Hanks was living on with Wilson, where in that situation, I don't know that he had endless food. We're not living on an island with endless food, and like just anything that we all the basic things that we need. We're not. We're living in a world where if you don't have the financial foundation to take care of yourself, you're gonna get booted out of your house, booted out of your apartment. Nissan's gonna come take your car. Tweet it.